live from the Sprouts Farmers Market in parking lot in Sacramento, California, January 30th, 2024. EV.
Thank you, dear. We are only an hour and 8 minutes late this morning. Thank you for your patience, if you have any. If you've shown any.
We have a lot of patience because we've been married so long.
Yes, that's the.
It's that, or we'd both be dead. It'd be murder-suicide.
Yes, and we're cowards. So that's the secret. That's the secret of
no murder-suicide.
Just be afraid. Just be a chicken shit. Okay.
He's had living. He wasn't going to say that.
Yes. Okay.
You're a failure.
I'm going to turn the show over to St. Constance just for a little while. We're running very late because
phone business.
Constance had to do some phone business.
Good morning.
Who were you doing phone business with?
Why should I tell people?
Oh, well, it's a good healthy thing.
Other things. No, it's
okay.
Yeah, but we we take supplements and we.
Nutritional supplements.
Nutritional supplements. Well, what else? Oh, I'm sorry. What else?
Well, people confuse supplements with suppositories.
It's not a supplement.
Well, anyway, it starts with S, and you put them in your body.
Neither one of us do, so I don't know where you're going with that.
Okay.
God.
But I digress.
I barely had a train of thought anyway.
Okay, what was your train of
thought? We take supplements and eat vegetables, and one of us tries to exercise but doesn't do so good anymore.
Yes,
anyway.
And I'm trying to get you to do more.
Exactly. So he can do less. Anyway, we try to take care. It's springtime coming, and for a couple of days we've had like spring-like weather. Although winter's coming back tomorrow. The turtle's been very happy. Anyway, so we try to take care of our bodies, kind of, but we're, as you all aware of, we are not the body. The body is not really.
Thank goodness.
Not that eternal. Thank goodness, yeah. And people will say, well, we're a body with a soul, or it's good to take care of your body because it's the temple, it's your temple. Wayne Dyer would always say, we're not a body with a soul, we're a soul with a body, which makes more sense. And then there's also the cobs is in the coup, not the coup in the cobs.
Yep.
Whatever the heck that means. And I was thinking, so there you go. Here comes the other day, yesterday. And then the Egyptians were always like mummifying, the ones who had money, mummifying their bodies. And because I think they wanted to revivify them maybe when they came back into their next incarnation, although I'm not quite sure.
Or to have an anchor to come back to as they're floating around other. Oh, this feels homey. I recognize that nose.
And not only that, but I have all my stuff, and I understand that because I had a dream 40 years ago, something about that. I had an astral warehouse of all my previous furniture, and I could open the drawers and I recognized everything. So that's very Egyptian-y. So I like the comfort of your stuff, the comfort of your body, but we're not the body. And God, I was trying to say, I think that we are not in the body. And I don't know why I didn't think of it this way before, because it sounds so much more logical. If we're going to be the eternal part, if the body is in us.
There's your cobs in the coup, not the coup and the
The
cobs.
body is in us.
The body is in us.
That kind of means that our mind gets to rule the body instead of the other way around. But we kind of let it be the other way around. Let's face it, I want that chocolate because it tastes good. Not that there's anything wrong with chocolate, small amounts, but unless it gives you a headache. And we don't want people to feel guilty about eating. Nothing is forbidden to eat, just to exceed by delicacy. But so anyway, I'm trying to remind myself. I'm just starting yesterday already, and it's kind of a feel-good feeling. It's hard to say I'm not the body, because that makes me go, oh yeah, sure, that sounds holier than thou, and I can't really get my grips around that too much. But when I think that the body is in me instead of me in the body, it makes me feel bigger and more long-lasting.
And it's really neat when you get it for a few seconds at a time.
Yeah. Well, it's nice when you remember what that. You can actually understand what that means for a few seconds at a time, and it's probably good for your health. And there's nothing wrong with taking care of your health, even though you're not the body. You do kind of, you need it temporarily for things. You take good care of your pets. Why not? And so anyway, that's all I have to say is. I'm still going shopping for vegetables and things, so I'm saying...
This is still parking lot number 2.
Take care of your... just take care of your body, but just realize that the body is in you. You're not in the body.
Very good. Well, thank you, darling.
That's my thought for the day.
Think on these things.
You can or not. It's up to you. That's what I'm going to be thinking.
Okay.
You might not want to be on the same train of thought I get on, because it might go places.
Oh yeah, only for short periods of time. Otherwise, it's a Twilight Zone episode.
Turn it around now, honey.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Leaving you to your own Twilight Zone episode.
Okay. There I am. I successfully reversed myself, as the hangman said. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like I've got a lot of sunshine coming in today. Because we're late.
And because it's sunny, unusually so.
Yes. Okay.
I'm leaving.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Love is the law, lover unto will, but it's not the end of the show.
It's not the end of the show.
It's the beginning.
Yes.
I am the preface.
I am the walrus. Okay. Yesterday, I read about sin, from one of my favorite books, The Heart of the Master, I hadn't intended on doing more Heart of the Master stuff today, but I spend most of the afternoon and early evening sort of wrapped up in a blanket in the living room where the light is pretty good, and I can turn on a little heater and be comfortable enough, and it's quiet enough for me to think, and I can get some work done on the book that I'm presently working on. Hopefully I'll have it all wrapped up in about 6 weeks. But I was running across and covering the subject, if you will, of course, I'm always talking about the Tree of Life, and I'm always talking about tarot cards and the Kabbalah of tarot and things like that. And this book is no exception. But the question always comes up when I start to explain on a very fundamental level the dynamics of the Tree of Life. That it's not ancient, but it's an old diagram, Kabbalistic diagram. And there's 4 or 5 major versions of the tree of life, and all of them are consistently true within the context of the self-referential context. Okay, so it's a big mistake to say, oh, the Kirshner tree is so freaking wrong. Here's what Luria said. No, Luria is absolutely true and consistent within its self-referential universe, which is the same universe as any other tree. Okay, and the tree that has been most usable, especially when you're trying to have a conversation about these levels of consciousness and the different conduits of intelligence that run between these levels of consciousness. The one more or less that the Golden Dawn used, and that's the one that more or less that Crowley uses. It's sort of the Golden Dawn, AA-ish tree of life, and it's the one that I at least like to start the conversation with using. And so many of you are familiar with it. In the Heart of the Master, they have a very good version of one, like right there. Okay? That's just a nice bare bones one. You see at the top you've got the 3 kinds of veils of the negative, Ein Sof and Ein Sof, and they all get concentrated down like the old-fashioned camera lens that when you snap it opens and closes. There's that singularity of one, and the supernal triad, which is just one thinking about itself. And then there's the second triad, which is a reflection of the supernal triad, and the third triad, which is sort of following the same echo that created 3 from 2 up there in the supernal triad, and then dangling down there like a dingleberry in the butt of the universe is the material universe and what we're in right now. And you can do lots of things with this tree of life, and it's very interesting, and it can be addictive. It can be addictive, okay, because it has such universal, truthful resonances to the concepts. You find the concepts that you can apply to planetary spheres, and you can apply the concepts to the 4 strata, major Kabbalistic strata of existence, and 4 parts of your soul, and everything. It's just so clean and handy. It's just a wonderful tool. But just like in the old days, we had slide rules before we had computers. It's just a tool. Slide rule just sits there and doesn't do anything until you apply it to a practical set of figures to work with. Okay, and then the slide rule becomes a very indispensable little calculator for mathematical problems. That's all fine and good, but what the fuck does it mean to you? Okay. Now, every one of those circles on the tree of life, every one of them. Here, I drew one up in the last parking lot. Every one of those circles has a big cosmic, general, universal meaning of some kind, and that's wonderful, and it's fun to think about, and it's even better to understand it. But what is that for you? What are you doing when you activate the number one in you? What are you doing, thinking, understanding when you activate what's going on in the big universal number 2 and 3 and 4? And I was trying yesterday, I was trying to express that, and I take a great deal of time just to write one sentence. I'm not the type of guy that just makes everything off the top of his head. I spend hours, tens of hours, scores of hours to make one sentence sound like it came from off the top of my head. And because I had this book out yesterday, when I threw my hands up and got all frustrated, I just turned to this book to flip through it just as a sorbet, cleanse the palate of my gluttonous self-examination. And I turned right open to this page, okay? And it's called The 10 Secret Joys of the Master. And I'm going to, it takes like 45 seconds almost to read it, so don't think I'm going to hold you here too long. But I'm going to read it in two ways, okay? The second way I'm going to read it is just how it appears here. But it appears Crowley uses the device of, he's having a vision, okay? He's having a vision, and these truths come first, the first three for those three veils of the negative, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They just come bam, bam, bam as visions. And in between those visions, or at the end of one vision, he mentions how the scene is changing in order to deliver the next visual message. And just for fun, I'm just going to read the messages, just so you can follow them down the tree of life to see what it means to you, what the universal meaning of the Sephirah means to your personal spiritual duties, goals, tools, okay? So here we go. And we're starting, I don't know if I can, we're starting with the zeros up at the top there, okay? There's three kinds of negatives before there's a single positive. There's three kinds of nothing before there is a one. And here's what those nothings are. The first one, nothing only exists and is all things. Nothing only exists and is all things. Second kind of nothing, there is no limit. And the third kind of nothing is, the sum of all is boundless light. Now, all of that's before there's even one. All of that before there's even a singularity that you can call a singularity. Nothing only exists and is all things. There is no limit. The sum of all is boundless light. Now we get to number one. Thou art that which thou choosest to think thyself. This is what it means to you. That's what Kether means to you. Thou art that which thou choosest to think thyself, immune to all, for it is nothing but a point of view. Your kether, your singularity, is you as the point of view. Thou art that which thou choosest to think thyself, immune to all, for it is nothing but a point of view. That's what I was trying to say all day yesterday. Shit, it probably does it in just like 15 words. Okay, number 2. Thy name, which is thy word, is the substance of thy will. So number 2 is the substance of your will. It's your word. It's your name. Thy name, which is thy word, is the substance of thy will, whose mode of action constitutes existence, chance. And number three on the supernal triad, that's still way up there and pretty abstract, but what does it mean to you? That which thou createst is thine understanding of thy love. That which thou createst is thine understanding of thy love. Now, below the abyss, okay, now we're getting down into what we would think of as a macrocosmic, on the other side of the mysterious mirror, on the other side, up above the supernal triad. Now we're getting right down into what on the tree of life would be considered the planetary spheres, and this would be Jupiter. Number 4, the necessity of the universe is the measure of thy righteousness. So number 4 is the necessity of the universe, and it's the measure of thy righteousness. And over on number 5, the movement of the universe is the fulfillment of thine energy. So, what is Gebura to me? What is number 5 to me? The movement of the universe is the fulfillment of thine energy. And number 6, right there in the middle, I don't know if I'm showing you this because I can't really see. Number 6 is the order of the universe, is the expression of thy rapture of beauty. The expression of thy rapture of beauty. And when we start to think about our personal knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel, we have to wrap up that whole wonderful, sacred fairy tale, beautiful, rapturous fairy tale that is number 6, which is the order of the universe, and it's the expression of thy rapture of beauty. Can you fall rapturously in love with beauty? Okay, when you hit that, when you're stoned on beauty, that's your holy guardian angel singing to you. But I digress. Number 7, the sensibility of the universe is the triumph of thine imagination. Okay, there's 7 for you. The triumph of thine imagination. It's the sensibility of the universe. Number 8, over there, number 8, which is sphere of Mercury. The mutability of the universe. The mutability of the universe is the splendor of thine ingenuity. This is so good. Number 9, which is called the foundation. Number 9, the stability of the universe is change. The assurance of thy truth. The stability of the universe is change. The assurance of thy truth. And finally, number 10, the perfection of the universe is the realization of the ideal of thy passion. So, if you're thinking about starting right at the bottom and working your way up, start off by looking at what I call the dingleberry on the butt of the universe and seeing it for what it is, the perfection of the universe is the realization of the ideal of thy passion. That's almost exactly what Constance was talking about. Cobs and the coo, not the coo and the cobs. Okay, now I'm going to just quickly go over that now that you've heard that and got sort of a taste of what it is. Again, I'm reading from The Heart of the Master, the 10 Secret Joys of the Master. And here's how it all unfolded in his vision. At first, the music is as if muffled, a murmur of the wind behind impenetrable veils. 0, 0, 0. Nothing only exists and is all things. After a pause of deeply rooted silence, 0, 0. There is no limit. Silence again, as if the very bowels of nature were thrilled with stillness. 0. The sum of all is boundless light. Now there is suddenly a gathering together of the essence of silence, as if focused to a point. Number 1. Thou art that which thou chewest to think thyself, immune to all, for it is nothing but a point of view. Now there bursts forth a wave of light, and there rolls forth the majesty of thunder. 2. Thy name, which is thy word, is the substance of thy will, whose mode of action constitutes existence. Chance. The music swiftly sinks to a low, brooding rapture, solemn and slow. That which thou createth is thine understanding of thy love. That's number 3. Thou which thou createth is thine understanding of thy love. Now that's the supernal triad. Everything below that is below the abyss. Then comes a sudden shaking and confusion, as if the harmony were broken up into innumerable fragments crashing together, nor is there any speech articulate until a fearful blast peals forth a trumpeting of majesty. But within the blare of the tempest sounds a voice, steady and stern, yet full of peace and kindness. 4. The necessity of the universe is the measure of thy righteousness. Now getting ready for 5. Now follows martial music, wild, full of the rushing of fire. Number 5. Movement of the universe is the fulfillment of thine energy. And this is blended with the echo of all former voices and their music, so that the whole abyss is thrilled with their orchestration to one symphony. Getting ready for 6. 6. The order of the universe is the expression of thy rapture of beauty. This fades away into a deep and tender tune, like nightingales beside a waterfall, and the voice comes twittering. Number 7. The sensibility of the universe is the triumph of thine imagination. Getting ready for 8. Quick thrills inform the air, the perpetual choir of myriads of young boys and girls. Number 8. The mutability of the universe is the splendor of thine ingenuity. Getting ready for 9. And now again all sounds gathered unto one, an endless monotone of power impregnable, like the trumpeting of an elephant in spring. This is what that was the herald to. 9. The stability of the universe is change, the assurance of thy truth. Then getting ready for 10. Then last of all, the sound of music takes the shape of a pure maiden's voice, and she sings. 10. The perfection of the universe is the realization of the ideal of thy passion. Lo, in the silence following, is my spirit so enlightened at its apprehension of these secret joys of the Master, that I once more lost to myself and lived again for a little while in him. And that's the secret joys of the Master. And that's where I better end today, because I've completely lost the visual of me on here, and I'm not sure that that you heard all of that. But if you did, I hope you enjoyed. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.